Finally, Israel has launched a massive strike on Iran called Operation Rising Line. It was a well-coordinated surprise attack targeting Iran's top military leadership, nuclear facilities, and other military installations. The timing of the attack is crucial because Iran was already at its weakest point ever. Its proxies in Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine were either crippled or wiped out. The October Gaza war had already drained its allies badly. This attack reflects classic Israeli strategy: strike when the enemy is down, and strike hard. The initial attacks were so precise that, in just the first wave, Israel killed top Iranian military leaders, including the IRGC chief, the Air Force head, and several key nuclear scientists, while also striking critical installations. In response, Iran launched a massive retaliation with hundreds of missiles and drones. This series of strikes and counterstrikes is now escalating the conflict to the next level. So the big question is, what comes next? Israel had definitely been planning to attack Iran for years. Mossad was running secret operations inside Iran, assassinating scientists, hacking nuclear systems, and planting assets. They were just waiting for the perfect moment, and when Iran was isolated, distracted, and weakened, the strike was launched. That's why the first attack hit so hard. It wasn't a warning, it was a direct shot to Iran's heart. Iran hasn't faced such massive attacks on its soil since 1988, after its war with Iraq. This shows the intensity of the current conflict and its potentially huge consequences, not just for Israel and Iran, but for the entire region. The situation could get worse. As you probably know, Israel never stops when it gains the upper hand. The UN or global powers can't really stop it. It does what it wants to achieve its goals. Israel is likely to push even harder unless it faces a strong blow in return. The problem is, it's hard to stop Israel if Iran doesn't show a strong retaliation. Israel definitely calculated the risks before attacking Iran. But even if things go bad for Israel, the US and its allies are likely to step in to defend it. In either case, the situation doesn't look good for the region. It's highly unlikely that this conflict will end through negotiations or any settlement over Iran's nuclear or missile programs, because such efforts have failed to produce results even after decades. Moreover, Iran knows that stepping back from its nuclear ambitions won't guarantee the protection of its interests. History has shown this. Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi both abandoned their nuclear and missile programs, yet still faced aggression and were eventually killed. Iran understands that backing down won't ensure its survival. It believes that only through retaliation can it protect its interests, just like North Korea, which developed and tested nuclear weapons but hasn't been attacked. If we compare the military strength of both countries, Israel clearly has the upper hand in the air. Its F-35 jets, drone technology, cyber warfare capabilities, and precision strike systems are years ahead of Iran's. Most importantly, Israel has access to virtually unlimited military support, as its allies can supply any type of weapon it needs. And if required, those allies could even get directly involved in the conflict to support it. But don't write Iran off just yet. It has a massive underground missile arsenal capable of launching waves of ballistic, cruise, and even hypersonic missiles. These are hidden in bunkers deep beneath mountains, locations that for now Israel doesn't have the capability to strike without US support. So, if Israel manages to gain clear dominance over Iran to the point where it can strike anywhere without fear of massive retaliation, it definitely would not stop until it completely derails Iran's nuclear and missile programs. Iran's internal stability could also be at risk, as Mossad has deeply infiltrated the country. Israel will likely try to support opponents of the current regime to install a weaker government that doesn't pose a threat to Israel or the West. If that happens, Israel could become the undisputed power in the region, since Iran is the only major force capable of threatening it. That's bad news for other key Muslim countries like Pakistan, which might come under new pressure. Any country in the region that goes against Israeli or Western interests could face similar aggression. China could be the real target in many indirect ways. It stands to lose a key regional partner, Iran, which is currently part of Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative, and an important piece in its energy corridor. Moreover, the rising influence of Israel and the US in the region could create strategic obstacles for China, especially if it plans to move on Taiwan, something it considers essential to becoming a true global power. If Iran manages to strike a major blow, crippling Israeli cities or even targeting US bases, it could drag the US and NATO into a full-scale war, spreading chaos across the Middle East. Gulf states, and even countries like Turkey could get pulled into the conflict. In that case, it wouldn't just be Iran versus Israel anymore. It could escalate into a regional war or even World War III. Whether Israel dominates or Iran fights back stronger, the situation is spiraling fast. And when two regional powers go at each other this hard, the whole region, maybe the whole world, feels the heat. Stay tuned. The Middle East is changing, again, and this time, it's on fire.